So we'll start with the World, the very beginning of April for you guys. Pretty full on with that World card. It can symbolise a lot of different perspectives because it's a big major arcana card. One of the things it can give the feeling of straight off is you could have a lot of stuff or things going on, and you might feel as if you have literally the weight of the world on your shoulder. You might be trying to work through several options that you've got going forward. You might be thinking career or study-wise or travel or people in your life, such as romantic people or liaisons or friends or family. It's almost as if the World card can encompass much of that. It's also about coming to the end of a journey because it's towards the end of the major arcana cards. So there could be something that you've either been doing for a long time and you're about to come to its completion, whether it's a project or a relationship, or even you're planning for a trip or travel overseas. So sometimes that means the end of something and moving on to these new beginnings. But sometimes it just means that the completion of a project literally is coming into the fore for you. And that's actually always a really positive thing, because when you start something off, we know it all needs finishing. And sometimes getting to the ending or the finish is quite difficult. It can represent certain types of people in your life. So we have the Taurus, we have the Leo, we have up here, which I think of Gemini or Aquarius, and then we have the eagle energy, which is sometimes representative of the Scorpio, so yourself. So that's when I say there could be a lot of people involved in the beginning of April for you as well, and energies. It can mean new romances, and it can mean that you might find or come across this person on your travels, or if you're moving around interstate, or even for your career, you might meet someone that's foreign and even has a foreign nationality than yourself. So that's a possibility. If we move to the second week, we see here the Six of Pentacles, and we see the Scales. I often think this card is about balancing your finances, making sure that you are not robbing Peter to pay Paul, that you have been not overspending. And if you have been overspending, you may need to divvy things out in the correct nature again and sort of go back to square one and put a budget back in place and say, right, I need to dedicate this amount of money to that payment and this amount to that payment, and then retain it and make sure that you're staying on track. The other thing that this card can indicate is that you are actually, people come to you and ask you for support, financial support, or could you loan them some money? So you may be in a position where you could help others, give them a little bit of support one way or another, and maybe be a person who even gives them knowledge about finances or what not to spend their money on. There's a feeling of that. If we think of it as in terms of health, I think of the Scales in the hand, and again we're just talking balance. So make sure that you're balancing your diet and your sleeping patterns and your exercising. Those are the things that we keep in harmony when we see Scales around. If we come to the third week in April, we see this chap here mulling over these 3 spilled cups. And often this is literally the term for this card. Don't cry over spilled milk or spilt milk. Because if you look behind you, you still have plenty there. So don't turn your back on things that you think aren't worthy, or people that you think aren't worthy, because you have got support around you, you have got help. There are people in your life who are still there that love you, that care for you, that want to do things for you. So sometimes it's about refocusing your goals and your directions into a new path. Like this card can sometimes be that you're hyper-focused in one area, and it might not be the right area or the right direction. It might be better that you turn around and look in the complete opposite direction, whether it be people or romances or even debates or discussions that have come up, your finances, and even your health. You look at something from another perspective. See if you can get someone else's opinion as well. So that sometimes sheds light onto why we're in the situation we're in, because sometimes we literally can't see. If we come to the 4th week, we get to the Lovers card, another major arcana card, and often the card of literal lovers, and it can be definitely romantic liaisons. Now, it can be things like affairs, so a secret affair with someone that's being kept hidden and under wraps. Or it can just be that someone walks into your life and it literally is like this, oh my God, the heavens have opened and the trumpets are calling, and you go, oh, I found the person I've been looking for. It can be a soulmate coming in. So it can be a really deep connection and bond. And you'll know it, because if this person walks in, both of you will just go, oh, wow, okay, I just feel it. And you'll both feel it. It's not like you'll have to say to the other person, oh, do you feel really attracted to me? You'll know they will be attracted. It can also be about making choices. So there may be a point, if you're in a current relationship, where you're wondering what direction to go in. Is this the person you want to spend a long time with? Is there some way the relationship can be brought back into the harmony that it once had? So there may be that feeling around current relationships as well. And it is always a valuable thing to take the time to try and sort through issues rather than just walking away from them, because sometimes this person can actually be a really deep, special connection partner, and you're about to walk away when you could make the changes between the both of you and reconnect again. Now, if we come to the overall energy, it's the 8 of Pentacles. He's showing me here that he is labouring away quite hard. So some of you may have been working really hard at a project, which brings me back to this ending of projects. He is getting there. So if you've got something on your mind or something that you've started and you're wondering when is it going to finish or when are you going to hear about it, like it could be exam results you're wanting, or papers marked, or an application for a job you put in, or savings criteria, or shares that you bought that you're wanting to know, did they go up? This card is saying, just have a bit more patience because it is coming. Okay, so we do see positivity and we see an end point coming. You're not there yet, so you just have to keep going a little bit longer. Keep up the hard work. Don't let down the defences yet. So the whole month of April could be about just making sure it gets through to that final stage, which was this World card, just making sure that it keeps going a little bit longer, because I think it's worth it for April. It's got that feeling of giving you the energy that needs to be finished. And it could even be this with current existing relationships. So there you are, Scorpio. I reckon you've got a really cool reading. Lots of finance type cards and energies. And if we think of this as finances, again, it's generally positive, and it's about your finances slowly growing and accruing, so savings accruing. So here we are, Scorpio. Let's see what your higher vibrational energy card is going to be for April. And somehow the little angel the angel of love has managed to pop into the last part of your reading. So let's have a look and see what comes out. Zappical, ecstasy. Wow, we can imagine that this could be quite interesting in many ways. The pleasure of ecstasy is an emotional feeling that we want to feel at many levels for many reasons. It can be the ecstasy of joy, love, happiness. It can be physical ecstasy shared with the unification of another person. It can be mind ecstasy that some people achieve through ways of enhancements, which can be drug-related enhancements, or it can be the use of meditational, binaural beats, connection to the spiritual essence, kundalini rising, so that getting that powerful physical come spiritual combination of both. It can be tantric sex between another person. There's a lot of different scopes for the power and pleasure of ecstasy. Zaphiel is considered the sacred lover, so he is an angel associated with the harmonic frequency of love. And I often say to everyone that it's love that we come here to experience at the very deepest of our core desires, and we want the connection of love at the deepest level we can possibly get. And certainly ecstasy is perhaps a word that we term for that moment in time when we feel such connection to something that draws us into the powers of ecstasy. And it is interesting that I put the angel of love in here for you, and it is also interesting that you received the lover's card in your reading. So I think April for you is going to hold quite some significant moments where you may reach this feeling of ecstasy. I'll read some of the words for you because they're really quite beautiful and special. Zaphiel wishes you to know that divine ecstasy may come in any moment, as a deep feeling of passion for your spiritual growth, or as an aspect of your love whereby your whole being is transfixed with the choice you have made to join the mystical pathway. The two gatekeepers on this path are awe and joy, both of which are closely aligned to ecstasy. As you experience this heightened state, be aware of the whispers of the angels. As you see in the oracle, angels use this high-frequency opportunity to impart sacred loving information to us about our journey. They give our higher self information about a choice we need to make, or how to open vistas of consciousness about our ethical existence. Trust the angels, for they will always have your heartfelt interest in their hearts. So if you find moments of ecstasy, whether it be through the connection of another or your own soul spiritual love connection, know that its messages are strong, powerful and potent.